Yo, so new year, new me. We're trying something different. It's not really on the bikes at the moment. Plus, it's all winter time and stuff, so bikes are kind of sidebar for a minute because it's actually staying cold here, and we had a foot of snow right in front of Christmas, and it's half still here. So anyway, people have heard about wegovy, semiglutide GLP1 inhibitors. And I'm giving that a go. Okay, I had pretty good success, although it was kind of temporary, with keto, and it worked really, really well for me. The problem is I had a doctor ask me about whether or not I was actually worried about kidney stones when I was doing keto. I wasn't until he said that, and then I had one. And I don't know if it's related or not. And I still basically do keto as a practice. I mean, typically, if I'm eating low to no carb. And that seems to help. I have some kind of food allergy. I haven't figured that out yet. But we're going to work on that too at some point. But I called on a friend's recommendation for what we call wegovy, but this is not the $17,000, $18,000 a year wegovy that you can't get your insurance to pay for. This is approximately $250 a month, maybe $275, something like that. Yes, it's out of pocket. No, your insurance won't cover it. At least it's unlikely. But so this is a new thing, and I'm going to keep doing my cyclical keto diet, but we're going to add this to it. So this showed up today. Came in a box, big old box. It was outside. The medicine's got to be refrigerated, so it had these awesome little cold packs and some insulation around it. So it can probably survive for a minute if you're in a warm climate out there at the mailbox, because it comes from online RX pharmacy called Empower Pharmacy. And anyhow, so this is a medicine bottle that you've probably seen somewhere. It's what you see at the doctor's office when they draw. So you have to pay attention. You have to read the instructions, and you should be very comfortable with the procedure, although it's super simple and basically painless. So when you get in here, you open this up. Again, this comes from a compounding pharmacy. So it's basically wegovy with a vitamin B12 supplement, which also helps to burn and metabolize fats. And a lot of people who have an issue with that happen to have an issue with B12 too. So as you can see here, compounded product, refrigerated upon receipt, may cause low blood sugar. These are things that you would already know if you had ordered this and had this coming ahead of time. So inside the box, there's some instructions. There's more instructions. There's directions. There's more instructions. And my provider called me to walk me through getting this going. And these are probably the single biggest reason that this is affordable and wegovy is not. Because wegovy comes in a special little pen, and they want about $3,000 a quarter for that pen. This is an insulin syringe. Millions of people use this. It's very simple. It's a tiny, tiny needle. You have to do a little preventative care. You need alcohol prep pads, and you need a sharps container, which the phone's laying on. So those are free if you go to your pharmacy and fill out your name on the slip. And then once this is all done after a year, you can send that back in, because believe me, all these needles will fit into this bottle. So you got alcohol prep pads. That's an absolute must. Have to do this. It's a once a week shot, so it's not a big deal. I have high hopes for this. So do the doctors that I'm working with. So, in short, if you've ever done a diet and actually gone into ketosis or done a ketogenic diet, you will know 9/10 of the side effects happen to you going into ketosis anyway. Some of the other side effects are probably very, very unlikely, but are a little bit more acute and more aggressive than those. Although typically when I transition from ketosis to a standard diet, whatever it is that I'm allergic to when I eat food that I like, makes me have those problems anyway. So I've been maintaining about 270, 280 for the prior, 10 years to trying keto the first time in 2018. And when I found out that it worked and it meshed well with my physiology and my daily routine, in fact, it was amazing. It was so good that I could wake up at 5 in the morning without an alarm clock and be ready to jump out of bed, grab coffee, a shower, get out the door, and be to work way ahead of time, which was also unusual for me. That was amazing. But going between a standard diet and ketosis every time, you get some upset stomach, you get some other less appealing side effects that can happen. So back to the kidney stone thing. The doctor friend of mine that discussed that with me asked me about, keto. So you aren't worried about kidney stones? And I'm going, what? That's news to me. He says, yeah, well, with a high protein diet or a high fat diet, you may have problems with that. And I said, nah, I haven't had a problem yet. I've lost 45 pounds in 10 months and I love it. And I feel amazing. And all of my lipid panels were beautiful, like 20 years ago beautiful, and they hadn't been for like 10 years. So that can be extremely beneficial. And I think in tandem with wegovy, this should have fairly incredible results we're hoping for. So again, I'm sitting here about 18 inches in front of this phone, and my face barely fits across it. One of the first things I noticed the last time that we did something to curtail this weight was my face shrunk massively, very quickly. So we're going to see if that happens again. But it is January 4th. I just did the first injection of this from Empower Pharmacy through this clinic in Denver, who I'll bring up in follow-up videos here. Although I think if you can find somebody that deals with a compounding pharmacy, you can probably get a hold of this extremely easily if you fit their criteria, just with a phone call. And again, we're, I think, $250-ish a month. So we're going to be somewhere on par with like $1,500 to $2,000 complete for treatment. Maybe not even that much, versus what they want for wegovy right now, which is upwards of $1,500 a month for the auto-injector pen that doesn't have the compounded B12 on board. So anyhow, this is my experiment. Hopefully this turns out good. And hopefully I'll get some people watching. I'm going to attempt to check in with this weekly, consistently with the shots, and see how it's doing. So again, we're 301, 302-ish this morning. And I was actually higher than that back around Christmas. Imagine that. We're hoping for a couple of pounds a week. I'm not exactly going to change what I've been doing dramatically, and I'm not going to go fully back to keto, but we're going to just maintain a reasonably low-carb diet that's sensible and smart. And we're going to attempt to go from this 300 down to about 240 in the next year. And it could happen that quick, or it could happen quicker. So stick with me. And if my face isn't too ugly on here, hit the like button and subscribe. And you'll see when I'm checking in with you. Have a good day, YouTube. 2024 is going to be a good year.